I am. A lot of times, I mean, pretty much in any game, I find out the bad more than I find out what I did good. I don't like to be associated with a loser, being a loser. Honestly, I mean, I got a competitive spirit. If you ain't got a mindset to win, if you happy being second, I can't deal with you. My mom would probably have that same kind of spirit, always wanting to win. But I don't know. I was the only boy, I guess, and all my friends were older than me. So I kind of had to compete and had to have an edge to me, I feel like. I took a lot of losses, again, because I was always playing against older people.
And when he was little, I'd come over, him and his dad and his couple of guys be in the front yard playing basketball, and he'd be taking it he'd be having them going.
Oh, boys hurt.
But he was always competitive. Even in the driveway, when they'd be playing, I'd pull up and they'd be out there balling.
After we lose, I'm emotional. I get mad.
He know if I lose, it's not because I didn't do my part. And he overly do his part for a win. If we lost, I don't really like to talk. My parents don't text me. They'll send me a text, good game, son. But after that, I like to be left alone.
He doesn't take loss. If you take a loss, it does not sit
It's
well.
from anything.
You're from tic-tac-toe, he's gonna keep playing.
Like he has to win. Fishing, you gotta catch more fishes than you, and he will.
Yeah, he's not.
I catch attitudes if I lose.
Anything.
It's serious if I lose. As long as I can remember, my older sister played basketball growing up, and she's the one that I really followed as far as, seeing it, from a visual. Going to her travel games and going to different cities, and that's all I used to remember. And all the traveling and all the new places she got to see, all came from her playing basketball. My dad was the only one that worked. Early on, my mom had a stroke, so that really limited us growing up. And I was fortunate for what I had, but what I had wasn't much. And that kind of just made me the hard worker and the person I am today. I just progressed every year. From being a little kid, I wasn't the most talented. I was always the tallest kid, but I wasn't the most talented at the time. And my thing was, my coaches used to make me play center growing up, and I used to hate that. I always wanted to be a guard. Me still being the biggest kid, I was just forced to play that position. So what I would do is work on my ball handling nonstop. I'll put chairs out, try to cross over the chairs, split through the chairs. And that kind of just, made me, being able to handle at 6'10" now, 6'9" now, that really, changed my whole skill set up. Well, my freshman year, I started out, I think I was like 6 foot, 6'1". Going into my sophomore year, I probably was about 6'4", 6'5". Going into my junior year, I was probably like 6'6", 6'7". My senior year, I was about 6'8", and then, I just kept going gradually after that.
Night would come. Where's Paul? Still outside. What is Paul doing? Basketball. Okay. It was mostly basketball. That was his love, his passion.
Well, growing up, my favorite team was the Clippers. I was a big Kobe fan, but the Clippers, that was my squad. They was just fun basketball. It wasn't one individual guy. It was a whole team. They had L.O., Quentin Richardson, Darius Miles. That was a team that could go. From left to right, my best friend from back home, playing the NBA. My big bro, Jason Chambers, and my boy from back home, Miles Williams, YT.
Houston All-Star, Paul Star, we got to get it around. My name is known around the town. I hold it down, it's Pat Gang, and Weeb's coming now.
He's a rapper. Okay.
I make the music, so I mean, whether he wants to or not, he gonna hear it in the crib with the speaker glasses. So
whether I got it or not, you know what I mean? If I hear a beat, I'm like, yo, let me get on that. And I'm trying to stack the chips, stack the cake. I know it bakes. Put it in the oven, let it heat or let it melt. I don't know. I'm just getting dope.
The good thing about us, we're a pack, and we know who our pack is, and we know the people that's not a part of our pack in a sense, and we know who to feed off of and who not to feed off of, and we just leave it alone. You know what I mean? We don't play too much into it, but we know that it's there where people try to, you know, bring us apart and this and that and the other. That's why we try to stay close as possible and keep our box. We don't even call it a circle. We try to keep our box close as possible and look out for each other within that box.
It do get difficult. You know what I mean? You just grow apart from, you know, friends that, you know, you really grew up with. I mean, I think it's natural. I mean, and they've been the one that's, you know what I mean, really been down since day one. The one that's really been the most loyal. And, I mean, most of the stuff I do, I really couldn't do it without them.
I mean, strictly video games.
Video games, laughing,
video games,
joking,
just
freestyling, eating.
I'm consistently beating this man in FIFA.
Nah.
Since
Who you talking about, Jason?
No, I'm the best out of everybody in the video game system.
And not lose to me,
there's
or
no losing.
I will let you hear it from when we wake up to when we go to bed. I'll even send him a text like, yo, you all right?
He'd be like, you good, bud? I ain't mean that. I ain't mean that. You good?
I was recruited probably by maybe about 20 or 30 teams. I chose Fresno because I mean, most of my big time scholarships all was East Coast teams, and at the time I just wasn't ready to go far from home. So I mean, Fresno was really the next option as far as me coming in, being able to play right away, and being close to home.
His freshman year in college, I saw it. He always had the dog in him, I would see it, but as far as just, within the third year of actually becoming an all-star, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I would probably, like, the type of person that I am, and people do know how I am, I would probably say I saw it, his sophomore year. I mean, that was my dreams. To be honest, I didn't think it would have came around as fast as, being talked about being in the NBA after my freshman year. I knew I would have had a shot, being in college a couple of years, but I didn't think it would have came around as fast as, GMs and, teams coming out to look at me after my freshman year. Well, right after our season ended, after my sophomore year, I put out a tweet saying that I was going to enter the draft. And, now you only get so long to where you can really, I guess, test the waters. So it's kind of a quick decision whether you're going to stay or you're going to go. And, I mean, once, I talked to my family and everything and made that decision, my mind was really set on that, it was really playing into my hands. Not a lot of people see me. Not a lot of guys that, played in the big conferences see me. I mean, really, I had a chip on my shoulder, and I felt like I was the biggest person in that draft that had a dog in them to really go out and prove myself. That's been my role. I mean, that's just been my role that I played. It's the underdog. I wasn't a McDonald's. I wasn't even a McDonald's honoree. You know what I mean? And here I am. I was averaging almost 30 in high school. So I just been a dog. Just been a dog in me. That might have been the toughest decision I've made, so far, was to stay or to go. And I mean, the minute my family heard lottery talks, they was like, you gotta go. Like, you gotta get out. I mean, not only is this a great opportunity for you, but for the family as well. So, I mean, I talk to everybody. I talk to my coaches, my teammates, family, close friends. The good phone calls like, yeah, y'all ready, you know what I mean? Go out there, go to the combines, work hard, do this and that and the other. He's definitely ready. And I mean, it all came down to, collectively, they all thought, I should have went on to the NBA.
When we got the call that he was going to be drafted, we were on a train. He and I were together, and he had this Indiana hat on because he lived in Indiana. And I said, what are you doing before we got off the train? He said, I'm gonna wear my hat. I said, don't wear that hat because you don't even know if they're going to pick him for Indiana. He said, yeah. He's going to Indiana. So when they called Paul's name, I said, oh, Indiana. He said, man, you told me to take my hat off. Now, I could have had my hat on representing Indiana. And I'm mad at you, girl, but he knew Paul was going to get picked for Indiana.
I was ready to, go away from my parents. It still was basketball and it was my dream, so I think everything else was just overshadowed. It was almost perfect to me. If they was talking about me being a lottery pick at the time, Clippers had the 8th pick. I'm like, man, it's possible I could stay home. So that's where I wanted to end up. I wanted to end up in LA.
I was the complete opposite. I didn't want him to go to the Clippers, to be honest with you. Because by him growing up in LA, LA is very fast-paced, especially for a young person, and he got drafted his sophomore year, you know what I mean? And he got all type of crazy stuff from friends, a lot of distractions. And I'm not saying that he wasn't up to the task, because I knew, he was, but being in the NBA and having money and all that type of stuff, it's a different type of world, you know what I mean? So I was kind of happy for him to go off to Indiana, a little, slower pace, and just go from there.
It's real slower in Indiana. You got cornfields and it's just a whole different atmosphere. Being in California, you used to city life, you used to up tempo, fast. Being able to do something, being able to have somewhere to go. Indiana's a little different. At the time, the only way it would seem like I could get on the court was to play defense. That's how I became the defender I am now, is, really trying to, go out there and guard guys, because I knew that's what Coach wanted. And, we didn't really have a guy that could really guard, the way that I've been guarding now. So, once I was able to put my hands on that and Coach gave me the opportunity, I kind of just ran with it from there. So anytime I get a chance to play guys like LeBron, it's a chance for me to showcase not only on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well. So I'm always ready, and I get up, real fast for games like that. I got into a couple of battles, but the first real one is probably Petrus. Every time you play that player, you want to get the best of him. It started back when we went to Celtics. At the time, he was playing with the Celtics, and it just got real physical for whatever reason. We got after it, and then when he came to Indiana to play us, it was round two, and right there it kind of escalated to a higher stage to where, since then, I've never played him again. So I don't know if it'll die down, but I know next time I go out there and play him, I know the history between us. It's tough guarding Melo. Melo might be the toughest person for me to match up with. He brings so much. Offensively, he's got the speed, the size, the strength. He shoot the lights out. He's just physical. So it's a tough cover, because you play him too close. He's gonna try to get you to the basket, and if you back off, he's gonna hit you from outside. So you gotta pick your poison when you guard Melo.
And he always look at Kobe playing and say, that's my favorite player. One day I'm gonna be like him. One day I'm gonna be like him,
My first time playing against him was my sophomore year, second year in the league. I didn't play against him my rookie year. Just being a rookie, not being able to suit up. And so the first time, I was a little bit in awe. That was Kobe Bryant. Looked up to him, grew up watching him. It didn't really hit me until, the first time I checked him and I got a cheap shot from him. I think he went into the post and he just threw like an elbow, mean elbow. I'm bigger than I am now, but then, I was tiny, so I felt that one. And I licked my wounds, but I knew, from then on it was a game. Every summer, obviously, because I'm, more years in the league, more time for people to see my face, but it just seems like every year, comes around, it gets amplified that much more. And now it is to the level where I'm pretty noticeable, whenever I go out. So,
in a city like this, to have fans walk up to him ask for an autograph and little stuff like that. It's very fun.
I mean, never been an arrogant dude, nothing like that, so it's cool.
I love it. I love to see little kids ask for his autograph, because growing up, that's what he wanted, you know what I mean? So it's like, I love it.
Don't show your best moves now.
Save some for last.
Wait for the music.
It's your boy right here, man, Hollywood Streets, man, straight from Brooklyn. I'm out here, man, All-Star Weekend 2013, hanging out with my man PG, Paul George, the real star, Indiana Pacers, man. We doing it big out here. Everybody watch out for my nigga Paul George, man. He about to take this shit over, you heard? Brooklyn, man.
As soon as we found out, Danny was gonna be hurt and out for the season, or, for extended time, I knew really the burden was on me, and I was gonna have to carry this team. I knew we was gonna be okay because we had those guys, but I knew the level that Danny played at, bringing in 20 a night and, being able to guard, as well. I knew I was gonna have to not play the same role, but carry the same weight he did. And I think I stressed out a little bit too much to start the year off, the reason why I wasn't playing well. And once things start to slow down, I start coming into my role, it started getting a lot easier for me. I think we've proved to beat the elite teams and the teams that are getting all the recognition right now. And for whatever reason, we are getting looked over. Against Chicago, at Chicago. Well, before we played Chicago, we played Golden State, and I had 0 that night. It was a weird night. It just felt like I was out of place. That kind of night just felt like I don't know where I was supposed to be on the court. Just things wasn't clicking for me that night. And I understand players go through it, but that's a feeling I want to limit. Well, fortunately, we had a long flight back to Indiana. So I had a lot of time to think about what I needed to change. And me being competitive, and immediately after we flew back to Indiana, I went into the gym and got 500 shots up because I just had a scoreless game. And I changed up my whole preparation and how I get ready for games now. And after that, we flew to Chicago to play Chicago. And I lit it up, had 34 that night. And the reason why that was so special was because, for one, it's hard to go into Chicago and beat them. Period. And, every shot that I shot, I pretty much made. And those shots that I made, if I didn't make those, we probably would have lost. We were looking like we were winless that night. I was happy. I was real happy. I called my parents up. I talked to everybody, my brother, my agent, everybody from back home. I was getting love from everybody. The dream was to make it in the NBA, and the next step was to be an all-star in the NBA.
But he used to tell people like, okay, I'm a rookie right now. By my third year or fourth year, I'm gonna be an all-star. And people used to laugh at him in the locker room. And little stuff like that, it add more fuel to him, like I'm gonna prove people wrong. Like that's how he think, and he made it.
He's gonna be the franchise leader, I think so. I believe that.
He's loyal.
I really want to compete for something, not just be in the league because I want to play ball. I want to actually, try to win. So I think that'll probably be the biggest, reason for me to stay in Indiana is, who's on the roster at the time.
And every summer he just goes hard and he wants to get better. So I knew it was coming eventually. And we talked about it this summer and how we was gonna make it happen, and we came out with a whole nother mentality. So I was expecting it the whole time, honestly.
It's just a dream come true, hard work and dedication does pay off. For everybody that's out there, like hard work and dedication, if you believe it can happen, then it will happen. That's practically it. We all knew
It's definitely an inspiration. You can see it coming from your circle.
Me, you know, I met P his rookie year, and ever since his rookie year, I just seen each year he just progressed, you know. And this year, when I seen him start playing, I'm just like, man, this, you know, he got an opportunity, you know. And I told him, I said, P, like, this is your year to shine, man. And man, he hasn't let me down yet. So, you know, just coming out here, it was just like a pleasure, man, because I wanted to see him, like, you know, his first year really making an all-star team. And it's a blessing, man.
He's so humble to the blessing, you know. He recognizes that he's not taking it for granted because he could be doing so many other things than doing something he loves, you know. But to him, it's a love, it's a passion, it's him. I couldn't see him in any other event or anything to do other than this.
To reach, you know, the status that I've reached now, I mean, it's only like the stepping stone to, you know, where I want to end up being. But I mean, for them to continue to keep pushing me is the reason why, you know what I mean, I do go hard every summer and do want to get better. I don't get nothing out of it, but, you know what I mean, this is just what I love to do. You know, I love playing basketball. You know, this has been my dream since day one. So, you know what I mean, if I can help my boys, you know, the ones that grew up with me, the ones that are still here with me, I mean, that's what I do it for. Right now, we you know, we had a blast yesterday. You know, competed in a three-point contest. You know, was able to hang out with the family prior to it. You know, get a real chill feeling out here in Houston. You know, I wish I could have took home the golden three-point contest, but you know what I mean, it is what it is. I'm a game time shooter, and I just keep it at that. But I mean, right now we headed over for the All-Star game. You know, hopefully, you know, better turnout. I mean, I expect no defense to be played, but I mean, guys just going out there showing, you know, what they're capable of, and you know, I mean, just having a lot of fun, and you know, I mean, trying to keep the crowd in. This is where I want it to be. This is the main stage, and just trying to represent my team well, my city well, and you know what I mean, my game well. Well, you know what I mean, from the top, you know, the scarf is from Gucci, as well as the shoes. And you know what I mean, this piece right here is from my man's Reggie Puckett, Phenom 24/7, his clothing line. So, you know, he got me dressed right. Shout out my man Drew Holiday. You know what I mean, one of the league's best point guards. Dapper, got the bow tie cracking. The East Coast in the building, you know what I'm saying? From the West Coast. West Coast cats represent the East right now, though. Young fellas. It's the takeover, baby. Next step is winning the championship, I think, after this. I feel like we got a real shot to do it this year, honestly. If I can continue to, you know what I mean, play the way that I've been playing and, you know, helping this team win, you know, the way that I've been doing so. That's talking about, you know what I mean, you look at the teams like the Miamis that plays with two superstars or two stars on the wing. I think that's how me and Danny can play off each other. First official All-Star game. I had a blast, 17 points, a couple big shots. You know what I mean, tried to make some plays alongside some great players and to be able to guard some great players. You know, I'm mad we didn't win, but you know, tonight I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my night with my family. Go ahead and get a little grub in. I appreciate y'all for experiencing my first All-Star weekend. You know, it's been fun, but y'all ain't gotta go home. Y'all can enjoy Houston a little bit. But right now, y'all gotta get the hell up out of here. Peace.
Oh my God, season 2, well done, crazy. Thank you guys, because I honestly didn't think you guys would like it well done, but you guys like it well done. So thank you for that, love it.
Come on, who doesn't like it well done?
Wait.
I do.
Closed Sessions is an independent record label that we started here in Chicago. When an artist comes here, we put them in the studio with the goal to show what makes an artist unique, which is the creation of their art. And it's dope because Currency did our first ever Closed Session record.